Okay, so we're going to retake a look at solving equations. Just a reminder, when we're solving an equation, we're trying to find the value of a variable that makes both sides equal. For example, if we look at the equation 3x minus 7 is equal to 2, probably in your head you can figure out that x would be 3, because 3 times 3 is 9 minus 7 is 2. But we're going to practice doing this on our tile mats and the legal moves. Just a quick peek of what this looks like on the tile mat. I'm going to go through one in a minute, but this is 3x minus, now remember minus can be shown by on the bottom, positive unit tiles or red tiles on the top. So 3x minus 7 is equal to 2. The legal moves that we can do, if you remember, are the first one is we can flip from the bottom to the top. The reason we can do that is because that minus sign on the bottom of the tile mat means the opposite. So the opposite of negative 2 unit tiles would be positive 2. Just a reminder, when we're in print, that shaded tile is the positive, the keys down on the bottom here, and the unshaded tile are the negative. Another legal move is making zero pairs, and we can make zero pairs. Zero pairs are when you have the same tile but opposite sides, so a positive one and a negative one. We can take off as many zeros as we want because zeros don't change the value of anything. The last legal move is removing balanced sets. So we can do that because I think of that when we get to an equation, that's like a scale. And if I take x off of both sides, it will change the weight of both those sides, but by the same value. So we can do what we want as long as we're doing it to the same side. So we can add balance sets or take away balance sets. So just as a reminder, those are our legal moves. All right, so when I get to this, I want to build the equation 2x minus 5 is equal to 2 minus parentheses 1 plus negative 5x. So this negative means to build on the bottom. So when I built this, I built 2 x tiles on the top, and then on the bottom, 5 unit tiles. And on the right side, I have my 2, and then on the bottom, 1 plus negative 5x. So 2 unit tiles on the top, and on the bottom, 1 plus negative 5x, okay? So now we're gonna simplify it. The first thing that I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna flip. I like everything to be separated with plus signs. And for you guys, you should be thinking about this as the distributive property. I want to distribute that negative to each one of the terms, especially when there's a parentheses in front of it, like on the right side here. So when I go to look at my work, first I had my original. I'm distributing this negative to the 5 and this negative to the 1 and to the negative 5x. And this is what it looks like. So now I have 2x plus negative 5, and then 2 plus 1, because distributing that negative to the 1, or the opposite to the 1, is 2 plus negative 1. And then the opposite of negative 5 is negative 5x is 5x, okay? Next move that I'm going to do now is I'm going to take off 0 pairs, and I only have 1 on the right side. So, oops, what my work looks like here is that's just combining like terms. So sometimes I'll have more than that, but these are getting smaller. And once I get to the point where I have x in unit tiles and x in unit tiles, I'm to the point where I can start doing stuff with balanced sets. So I'm going to take off a 2x off of both sides, because that's the same balanced sets. So I can take off balanced sets because they're the same tile on both sides of the equal sign. Oops. And so took off 2 x's, and what I'm left with on the left side is negative 5. What I'm left with on the right is 3x plus 1. So I'm almost to where my variable is isolated. I have 3 x's. I need to get these off. So I want to get this 3 x's by itself. So I'm going to add a negative 1 so that I can have a 0 pair. Remember, I can take 0 pairs off. So I'm going to have 3x on the right side and negative 6 on the left side. And I got that by adding negative 1 to both sides. And I have negative 6 is equal to 3x. And now that I've isolated the variables, I want to know what each one of these x's is worth. So there's 3 x's. So I'm going to divide all my unit tiles into 3 groups. So each x would then be worth negative 2. So my solution to this equation is that x is equal to negative 2. So I'm going to divide. I'm going to get rid of that.